Welcome back. You're watching Beyond World is One. I'm Shivan Charna. This is Speed News. Let's get started. Russia accused Ukraine of preparing what it described as a provocation with the intention to disrupt the upcoming summit between Putin and his US counterpart Trump in Alaska on Friday. A statement by the Russian Defense Ministry accused Ukraine of planning an airstrike on a densely populated residential area inside Ukraine, further claiming that it would then be reported by foreign media journalists to create a negative media background and conditions for the disruption of the Russian-American cooperation on issues of resolving the conflict in Ukraine. Ukraine's President Zelensky vowed not to give eastern Ukrainian land to Russia, saying that abandoning the Donbas region would open the door for Russian president to start a third war in Ukraine. Zelensky's warning comes ahead of Putin's meeting with US President Donald Trump in Alaska on Friday. Reports suggest that the Russian president is likely to demand Ukrainian land as part of a peace deal.
Безумовно, у нас буде зустріч.
Putin and Kim Jong-un held a phone conversation to discuss Ukraine ahead of Putin's summit with Trump in Alaska. The two leaders reaffirmed their commitment to cooperation, with Kim expressing full support for Russia's actions in the ongoing conflict. The Israeli military says that it struck and killed a group of Gaza militants disguised as aid workers using a car displaying the logo of an international charity. The military shared video footage showing several men in yellow vests standing around a vehicle near Deir al-Balah in central Gaza. The charity's logo was on the roof. The military said that it had eliminated the men in the weekend drone strike as they posed a threat to the Israeli troops. In a direct address to the Iranian people, Prime Minister Netanyahu, in a video posted on social media, called on Iranians to oppose their regime. Netanyahu promised that Israeli water technology will flow into the country once the regime is deposed. US State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce said that the United States' relationship with both Pakistan and India remains unchanged, adding that diplomats are committed to both nations. The remarks were made following controversial statements by Pakistan's Army Chief General Asim Munir that he made against India standing on US soil. During a visit to Florida, Asim Munir reportedly claimed that Pakistan could resort to using nuclear weapons against India and taking down half the world with it in the event of an existential threat. Military and federal law enforcement have begun deploying in Washington to fight what Donald Trump has said that is out-of-control crime in the capital city. Trump placed the capital's Metropolitan Police under federal government control as he seeks to cement his claim to be a law and order president. Trump has activated 800 National Guard members to address what he calls a crime emergency in Washington, D.C. While Trump has cited rising crime, city officials note that crime rates are actually declining. The law allows Trump to control the police for up to 30 days, but extending this requires congressional approval. In a stern warning, United States President Trump has suggested that Federal Reserve Chief Jerome Powell could face a lawsuit over renovation costs for the central bank's nearly century-old headquarters. The threat issued on Tuesday in a post on Truth Social is the latest salvo in Trump's ongoing pressure campaign against Jerome Powell. While Trump has pushed for aggressive cuts, Powell has maintained the bank will make a decision based on financial indicators and not political pressure.
Thanks.
South Korean court ordered arrest of Kim Konhi after prosecutors requested an arrest warrant for former First Lady Kim Konhi a day after questioning her over allegations, including bribery and stock manipulation. The move comes as former President Yoon Suk-yeol remains in detention over his declaration of martial law in December last year, which briefly suspended civilian rule before being overturned by Parliament. Controversy has long surrounded Kim, with lingering questions about her alleged role in stock manipulation. Kim allegedly accepted a Dior handbag from a self-proclaimed fan in 2022, and that reignited public criticism. She is also accused of interfering in the nomination process for MPs in Yoon's party, a violation of election laws. China's government said that it has suspended all ties with Czech President Petr Pavel over his recent meeting with the Dalai Lama. The Czech president met with the Tibetan leader on the 27th of July to congratulate him on his 90th birthday during his private trip to India. A statement by a Chinese foreign ministry said the meeting seriously contravenes the political commitment made by the Czech government to the Chinese government and harms China's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Ahead of India's 79th Independence Day on August 15th, Har Ghar Tiranga campaign is being celebrated across the country. The Har Ghar Tiranga campaign is a nationwide initiative launched by the Government of India to inspire citizens to hoist the national flag. This campaign aims to rekindle the spirit of patriotism and unity across the country by encouraging every household to proudly display the tricolour. The full dress rehearsal for Independence Day celebrations in India will be held today ahead of Independence Day on the 15th of August. Delhi police has prohibited flying of sub-conventional aerial platforms like paragliders, paramotors, hang gliders, UAVs, UAS, microlight aircraft, remotely piloted aircraft, hot air balloons, small-sized powered aircraft and the likes over the jurisdiction of the NCT of Delhi. Now, this order will remain in force from the 2nd of August to the 6th. It has been enforced since 2nd of August, will remain in force till 16th. In Texas, a Union Pacific Railroad train derailed 2 miles east of Gordon. The emergency responders said that the derailed cars did not appear to be leaking their contents, and the company did not immediately respond to a request for comment on what materials were being carried in the derailed cars. In Taiwan, over 5,000 people have been evacuated ahead of Typhoon Portal. Its arrival, a large swathe of southern and eastern Taiwan has been shut down and hundreds of flights have been cancelled. Taiwan is regularly hit by typhoons, generally along its mountainous, sparsely populated east coast facing the Pacific. The mid-strength Typhoon Portal, packing wind gusts as strong as 191 kilometers per hour, is heading for the southeastern city of Taitung as it intensifies and is expected to make landfall later in the day.
来，雨势可能会。
As the UK's fourth heat wave of the year drives temperatures up to some 33 degrees Celsius, the government has declared a drought in 5 separate regions, and farmers fear a poor harvest now. UK Met Office data showed 2025 has experienced the driest 6 months to July since 1976. Reservoirs fell by 2% last week and are now 67.7% full on average across England. Elsewhere, the heat wave gripping Europe sent temperatures over 40 degrees Celsius in southern France and the Western Balkans. This has fueled wildfires, triggered top-level weather alerts and forced evacuations in several countries. In Spain, firefighters and emergency teams fought a wildfire located in the northwestern region of Galicia that has destroyed close to 3,500 hectares. According to local authorities in Spain, temperatures are set to reach 44 degrees Celsius in some regions. Minimal rainfall and windy conditions were expected to exacerbate the risk. In Turkey's Izmir province, emergency aircraft flew over a forest in an attempt to control a day of raging fire. Smoke and flames billowed from the wooded area which fell within the municipality of Buka. Brookfield Zoo, Chicago is housing 5 Panameanian golden frogs at its Reptiles and Birds exhibit ahead of Panameanian Golden Frog Day. These frogs are part of a species survival plan aimed at ensuring the species' long-term survival through careful breeding and conservation efforts. August 14th marks Panameanian Golden Frog Day, a day dedicated to raising awareness about one of the world's most endangered toads. AI startup Perplexity has made a $34.5 billion all-cash bid to buy Google's Chrome browser. As part of the proposed takeover, Perplexity said that it would continue to have Google as the default search engine within Chrome, though users will have the option to change the browser if they want to. Perplexity also said that they will be keeping Chromium open source and invest $3 billion over 2 years. According to Perplexity, several funds will finance the deal, aiming to use Chrome's 3 billion plus users to challenge AI search giants. What's interesting is that Perplexity itself is valued at $18 billion. So the question of forking out $34.5 billion seems like a massive stretch. According to Tech Radar, a technology publication website, security analysts at CTM 360 have reportedly uncovered a large-scale cyber criminal campaign exploiting TikTok shops. The attackers are using fake online stores to distribute malware and defraud users, with younger customers being the primary targets. According to the report, perpetrators impersonate legitimate e-commerce sellers, often employing AI-generated content to bolster their credibility. The scam is not confined to TikTok. Similar fraudulent storefronts have been detected on Facebook as well. Over 5,000 download sources have been identified, many of which employ embedded links or QR codes to evade detection. The aim is reportedly to steal cryptocurrency payments and to compromise personal information through malicious software. According to a study published in Lancet Gastroenterology and Hepatology, regular use of AI to assist colonoscopies may descale health workers. The finding is concerning given the rapid uptake of artificial intelligence across healthcare. The new study looked at health workers who performed tests performed tests to look for early signs of bowel cancer. Researchers also analyzed 1,442 colonoscopies performed by experienced endoscopists in Poland, comparing performance before and after the introduction of computer-assisted polyp detection systems in 2021. Now, this study also found that after regular AI use, there was a 6% drop in lower polyp detection rate in non-AI assisted colonoscopies. The feud between tech giants is escalating, with Elon Musk taking a direct shot at OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, publicly branding him a liar. This latest jab comes amid Musk's legal threats against Apple. He claims the tech giant is creating an anti-competitive environment in its App Store. Musk has questioned why Apple is ignoring Grok in its must-have section, even though it's one of the top 5 apps on the App Store. Futures tied to the S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 are slightly as investors come off a record-setting session that saw encouraging news on the inflation front. The major US indices are coming off of a strong trading session, which saw the S&P 500 and tech-heavy NASDAQ composite close at fresh record highs. Stocks traded higher as inflation data was tamer than expected, soothing investor fears that tariffs are not spiking prices. Traders are now pricing a nearly 94% chance of a rate cut at the Federal Reserve's September meeting. Japan's Nikkei hit a second record high this week as hopes of US interest rate cuts following soft inflation data cheered equity investors across Asia. Experts say recent Japanese asset appreciation reflects positive steps the government is taking to improve capital markets and corporate governance, especially corporate sensitivity to equity values. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index, South Korea's Kospi and China's CSI 300 all advanced today. Indian markets also inched higher as they track global cues. The Nifty 50 is above the psychological level of 24,500 after showing weakness in the previous session. Altcoins continue their rally led by Ether, which is now hovering below its record. The altcoin market began its steady climb after the release of the Consumer Price Index, which reinstalled hopes that the Federal Reserve could cut interest rates next month. Ether is trading above $4,600 and is just a few percentage points away from its November 2021 record of $4,866. Reports suggest Ethereum flows are coming in from traditional markets in the form of both ETFs and treasury vehicles, and the rallies are broad-based. Gold prices edged higher following US inflation data as it sustained expectations of Federal Reserve interest rate cuts. Now, attention turns to other key economic data due this week. Other data due this week includes the US Producer Price Index, weekly jobless claims, and retail sales. Lower interest rates boost the appeal of gold, which yields no interest. And gold also tends to perform well during periods of uncertainty as it is viewed as a safe haven asset. Among other precious metals, spot silver trades around $38 an ounce, platinum above $1,300, while palladium trades